Hey guys, what's going on? Inception here, and welcome to another video today. Today, we're going to be doing another form of a podcast type video where I'll be answering some of your questions, and we are going to start right now. So I have a lot of comments from different types of videos here. I actually found out that your YouTube channel actually has this page where it has the comments from all your videos. So we're going to see some questions here that people are interested in knowing about. So we're just going to go from there. So, do you think that this is the best defense that a Calcio A can get? Florenzi, Manolas, Chiellini, and Alexandro. Bar Chiellini, I feel like the inform Benassia has potential to be better, but it depends on your playstyle, right? Because Chiellini has low-high work rates, whereas Benassia has medium-high work rates. So I feel like if you want a little bit of aggression in terms of getting the ball, but you still want your players to be a little bit more conservative, medium-high is definitely the work rates that you want to try to get. That's what I would go for. Farman has been nerfed and Neuer is good now. That is not the case whatsoever, and Farman is still very much overpowered than Neuer is 100%, and that's because of the trait. What else do we got here? Good analysis. Would you like to see how you resolve the problem offensively with CDMs moving out of position in the 4-1-2-2 formation and in the 1v1 shielding the ball usually results in losing the ball? The defenders in mid close of the space in the short space of time. How do you stall in the midfield? How do you stall in the middle of the field to buy more time to create gaps apart from L1 dribbling? It's just being patient, man. Like this is from the in-depth attacking and defending videos. So when I'm attacking, it's all about trying to exploit the sides, or not exploit the sides, exploit the middle. And once I get to the middle, people always usually overcommit with the fullbacks. When they do that, I can exploit the side. So it's very situational, right? In regards to CDM pushing out of position for the 4-1-2-2, you really can't fully resolve that unless you have the better players, right? If you have players that are medium-high work rates like Patrick Vieira, Hullet, or, well, not medium-high work rates by itself, but better midfielders like Patrick Vieira and Hullet, you can't thoroughly get a really good 4-1-2-1-2, but you can get a decent one, right? Where you get like Naglin, a Conte, a medium-high work rated Conte, right? Stuff like that would be okay. But other than that, very, very tough to say. 4-1-2-2, very good formation attacking-wise, defensive-wise. The CDMs and the center mids, they'll still push out. Even if you figure out the custom tactics and instructions to make them not do it as often, they will still do it unless you have players who literally have like low-high work rates in the midfield or medium-high work rates, right? So that's what I would say to that. What buttons do you press to sprint fast and pass defenders? If you have a clip of Bakayoko running really fast. If you're talking about Bakayoko in terms of catching up to an attacker, it's me spamming B. But spamming B, you have to be very careful when you spam B, because if you spam B, that's part of the aggression stat. So they try to aggressively try to get the ball back, right? If you spam B consistently. But sometimes when you spam B, depending on the registration of the game, they'll actually go for a tackle like way behind the guy you're trying to catch up to. So there's this kind of like space between your player and their player, where if you spam B consistently, it'll actually register like you're trying to push forward. It's like he's trying to swim through the pace. It's really hard to kind of like explain, but that's one of the defending things that I usually tell people about. It's just spamming B to tell them to aggressively try to get the ball back. Conte is one of the best guys at doing that because he has decent pace and his aggressiveness is really high. That's why his team of the year is a very good player, right? What do you think about the 5-2-1-2? So the 5-2-1-2, I use the 5-2-1-2 in draft, but it's very situational because with a 5-2-1-2, I only use it in the draft. I won't really use it in foot champs because I feel like when you use a 5 at the back formation in foot champs, it's very situational to how a person is playing. So if you notice that you want some sort of defensive presence, but you want to absorb a lot of pressure with good fullbacks and 3 center backs rather than just having 2 center backs, then you do that. But I don't know, the thing about that formation is that attacking wise it's very odd because sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad, right? So it's a very situational formation. When I use the formation, I use the stay back while attacking for the left wing back and the right wing back. Depending on the situation, I will tell them to be on balance. Not always overlap. I'll tell them to be on balance depending on the situation of the game. Strikers keep balance depending on the person that I'm playing against. And the center mids, I will tell them to stay back while attacking and stay on the edge of the box for the most part. Dude, these questions were from other videos, so we're gonna look. How many special cards should you have without being handicapped? Handicap is not a thing, man. Inconsistent gameplay is a thing. That's like the bronze players. The bronze player thing in this game is, in my opinion, completely down to a placebo effect. So it's if it makes you comfortable to bronze bench, then you do it, right? But I don't think bronze benching does anything, because I've bronze benched before on Xbox and on PlayStation. It hasn't made a difference. I've had gameplay that's felt really good, even if I use like Ronaldo's and Shevchenko's loan cards on my bench. So it's completely random whether it turns out to be good or bad. So I actually enjoyed the rant. I thought about the fact that back in the day in FIFA 12, I used to build fun teams like Mexico, Netherlands, Turkey, Jamaican, etc. But in FIFA 18, there's just no reason to do so, and FUT is not fun at all. I enjoy head-to-head seasons, though. The gameplay is pretty consistent over there and feels like you get rewarded properly for playing well. But after winning Division 1 title, I will probably go back to League of Legends and try to climb there. I will still watch your videos because I like your genuine reaction and analysis to things. Keep it up. Yeah, I agree. I miss the days where you can build teams and use players you actually want to use. Not the same sweat team over and over. It also has become very pay to win, which sucks. I love using silver cards in teams with low budget and still win based on your skill. Yeah, I always talk about this. FIFA back in the day used to be more fun because there was a lot of players you could try out, and meta wasn't like super important. I would even say last year. Last year there was still like this huge meta factor. Back in FIFA 15, I wasn't a huge fan of FIFA 15. From FIFA 14 to 18, I've never liked gameplay because it's always been inconsistent from those years. The last FIFAs that I liked has been FIFA 12 and FIFA 13. But with FIFA 15, right, you can use so many different types of players. I used to use, I think it was, if people remember my streams from back in the day, I used to use like 8 different squads. Bundesliga, EPL, League One, because the team of the season cards that they actually came out with were actually really good, right? Whereas the team of the season they come up with now, like even if you get like a player that has like 87 pace, but generally speaking, they feel very sloppy, they're not going to feel that good. Like even when I play FUT Champs nowadays, I never come up against Team of the Year Kane, but Team of the Year Kane should be a player that people should want to use. He's one of the best strikers in the world right now, so he should be a player that people should definitely want to use. Like I would want to use him in my team if it was for the fun concept, but people don't use him because he's not full meta. He doesn't have the skill moves. His dribbling isn't that fast, right? So a lot of different aspects as to why people don't really try out different squads all the time, right? Nice video, bro. Don't know why, but I enjoyed it watching it for its length. I think I'm gonna completely revolve my channel around like this kind of podcast type of feel, right? Because I've noticed that with these types of videos, even on YouTube in general, podcast is kind of like the main thing nowadays. So I feel like I want to make the genre of my channel very gameplay and podcast oriented, where I can talk about different stuff about in real life football, FIFA football, because trust me, the way that I analyze FIFA in the video game is the same way I analyze football in real life. Like it's like the situation with Portugal in the Euros, right? When I saw people on Twitter like, why is he making this sub? Fernando Santos as a Portugal manager, his subs is literally what made us win that tournament. And if you understand like the way that I think, every sub that he put on and he took off, it made sense to do, right? Like in the finals, when we had Quaresma and Nani as our only striker, I was telling my dad, I'm like, Dad, they need to put Ether on the pitch. I don't like Ether that much, but they need to put him on the pitch because we don't have a striker. Quaresma and Nani are crossing it to each other, and they're not guys that win headers in the air that often, right? So that's what I was telling my dad. A couple minutes later, he put Ether on the pitch. A couple minutes after that, he scored the winning goal for Portugal. So I do like this analysis thing in real life too. Like when Zidane made the subs against PSG, we all knew instantly that taking out Casemiro was because he didn't want that defensive presence anymore. He wanted to put more pressure against PSG because he knew it was going to be tougher against PSG in their stadium, and he wanted to put Vasquez and Asensio to offer more width for players like Bale and Ronaldo that can win those balls in the air. And that's exactly what happened, right? So it's stuff that I like talking about, whether it's down to FIFA or in real life football. So the podcast aspect where I have FIFA gameplay in the background and I can talk about in real life football or anything, because I could talk about anything in these podcasts and people would still be down to watch these types of things. So it'll definitely be an interesting thing to go into in the future because it's been doing really well on the channel recently. So I'll definitely consider doing more of it for sure. Let's see other comments we got here. A lot of these ones were ones that I already read in previous videos. Need a team like this with Rui Costa and OTW Mbappe for 250k, 250 to 300k. What should I do? He's talking about the team that I currently have where I switch it to a 4-2-3-1. You can't really upgrade to anybody unless you get like Laurent Blanc. So with your upgrades of 250 to 300k, there's not really anyone that you can upgrade to, man, in all honesty, with that squad, with the 4-2-3-1, with Roberto Firmino as the cam, or Gabriel Jesus as the right mid, Mkhitaryan as the left mid, and Martial as a striker. There's not really much you can do with it, because in terms of work rates and the way that the team works in a balanced sense, very hard to upgrade unless you get icons that are very, very expensive. Obviously that's this is in regards to the goalkeepers, the comment that the guy responded to with the guy that said that all goalkeepers are really bad in FIFA. This guy said, don't buy him, laugh my ass out. All the icon keepers are trash. None of them have save which feet trade. That's why Inception's always saying screwing yourself if you're not using Farman or De Gea. Yeah, that's 100% the case. De Gea and Farman are the only goalkeepers that you should be using in this game because they have the leg save trait. If you play Foot Champs and you see Farman instead of Neuer, there's a reason, right? It's because of that trait. You're actually screwing yourself because you're going to be conceding goals more often because they don't have that trait, right? So, this is actually a really funny one. So this guy says, play Fortnite, FIFA is dead. I feel like one day, maybe, I would post Fortnite content on my channel just for fun. I do like the game. I like the game more than PUBG, if anyone's wondering. I don't know, man. My content on YouTube is very FIFA oriented. I want to keep it that way. If I post gameplay content of other types of games, it won't be on this channel. It'll be on the second channel, so that way it's not like this thing where it's like, oh wow, he's changing games, blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? I'll probably just post it to the second channel just for fun. I'll list it up for you guys to check out if you guys ever want to see the second channel. But it is on my, if you go on my channel, it is in the related, not related channels, but the suggested channels on the right side, if you do want to go check that out. So it's completely up to you. I use this, discovered it by chance. Oh, he's talking about the shooting mechanic where you do the drag back and then take the shot away and actually. WTF, how do you not like Conte? For me, he's one of the best center mids in the game. This is the thing about when I make these types of videos, like, people will think that I genuinely don't like a player because of specific concepts that he has. It's not that I don't like Conte, it's that in relation to a Conte and a Bakayoko, the height, for me personally, is more important to have than lower height and medium-high work rates. But it doesn't necessarily mean that Conte is a bad player in the game. Conte is a good player in the game. I would personally never use him as a center mid because medium-high work rates is very, very odd to have on the center mid sides. I really feel like it needs to be like high, medium. Medium high, I guess it really depends on the player that you're using. Like, certain players would play medium high really well, but certain players really definitely wouldn't. Excuse what this guy's commenting in Portuguese. This guy gets silver 2 every weekend for having a team effing so bad in this moment of FIFA. Esse maluco deve pagar belo prata. My fullbacks are freaking stupid. Alaba keeps doing to the box as he was a center back, leaving the wings open. You have to be very careful with that. So with the fullbacks, I've mentioned this in videos before, the fullbacks push into the middle a lot as center backs, depending on your tactics of depending on your defensive tactics. Like, if they have the aggression to be a little bit high, like even around the 50s, they'll push out of position sometimes. So that's why I use the 4-2-3-1, where I have the left mid and right mid to come back. So if my fullbacks ever do decide to actually do that, I have the left mids and right mids to cover that spot so that they don't occupy that spot that well. Try to analyze the kickoff glitch goals and scripting goals, which are impossible to defend. There's no scripting. While your players' speed, tackling, marking, strength are nerfed, the opponent got their stats boosted. I don't like when people talk about these things, because is it possible that your opponent's gameplay could be better than yours? Yes, it is possible, and I've seen it firsthand. I'm not going to say where I've seen it or whatever, but I've definitely seen it firsthand that one monitor played better than another monitor. I've seen it firsthand, so it's possible. But scripting, momentum, and handicap, it's not a thing, man. It's just bad gameplay. Like, if you're playing in gameplay that's crap, shit's gonna happen, right? If your gameplay feels really good, fast, responsive, and it deflects off of a player and it lands to someone, that stuff is gonna happen anyways. But since your gameplay is so good, it would be more irrelevant to you, right? But because the gameplay sometimes feels really sluggish, it'll make you hate it. I hate switching my formation in game. I feel like I should be able to beat you without changing anything. Otherwise, why set up your tactics and formation before the game? I mean, the formation change thing, it's very situational with how you think about it. And I want you guys to understand my point of view of people switching their formations in game. If they fix the formation thing in game, I feel personally it'll make you hate FIFA more. And just hear me out when I say this, right? With the formation changes, people make formation changes in real life, and they can switch their formation and keep the chemistry with the squad. Because in real life, if you want to use Ronaldo as a center mid, if the manager truly wants to use him as a center mid, he can do that. If he wants to use Roberto Firmino as a cam, he can do that, right? So I think the concept of people getting upset of changing the formation, I think it would personally make the game worse, because it allows you to have more freedom with using a player in each position that you really like and have them play to the full potential in each of those positions, right? If they change it where it's like you could only, if you use the 4-1-2-2 and you can't switch from this formation, or if you do, your players will play worse. I feel like that's kind of stupid, because if they do that, teams in real life, depending on how the other team is playing, switch their formation. There's a reason why when managers make substitutions or they change the formation that they're using, the reason why they do that is because they want to counter what the opponent is doing. So I feel like if you make your chemistry worse by switching the formation in game, it'll make the game worse, in my opinion. I think having the freedom to use whatever player you want in whatever position is important for FIFA. I also think that the whole switching formation thing shouldn't even be a thing anyways. Like, if you want to use Ronaldo as a left mid, you should use him as a left mid. If you want to use him as a right mid, you should use him as a right mid. If you want to use him as a striker, center mid, wherever you want to use him, you should be able to use him, because in an ultimate team, in a football concept in real life, other than the defensive positions, because it's just weird to me how you can use Ronaldo on 7 chemistry as a center back, because he's never played center back before in his life, right? So I think that is completely opinion oriented, but I just think personally that them keeping the system the way it is with chemistry and formation is okay. I just think that you should be able to use the formation before the game even starts, because if you're going to do it anyways in game, you should just do it before the game starts anyways. That's what EA should look into, because it's just nice to use players in whatever position you want. Like, if you want to use Thierry Henry as a right mid, you can do that. Give him full chemistry starting up, put him as a right mid. It gives you more freedom, right? But if they change that so it's like, hey, whatever formation you use in the beginning, this is what you're stuck with, I feel like it'll make the game worse, personally. I could definitely agree with the AI doing better defending when you switch off of them. I sometimes do this when I want to win the 50-50s with the opponent. Holding L1 when I switch back to them also helps keep the ball closer than L2. Also, are you Portuguese? By the way, I heard the way you said, David Luiz. So I'm seeing if I have a compatriot. Lol. Yeah, I'm Portuguese. My ethnic background is Portuguese. Yeah, so what he's talking about, guys, is he's talking about, so when I'm close to a defender, what I tend to do, or when I'm close to an attacker, what I tend to do is I switch off my defender when I know that I'm really close to the ball, because the AI will get the ball for me. It's very situational. It's very hard when you explain it, but it's when you know deep down that you're going to get the ball, that's when it's better for you to switch, because if you actually hold L trigger or press B, sometimes they'll kick the ball away from them and it'll go out of bounds or it'll go back to the player. So sometimes switching off of your defender while the person is attacking, because you know you're going to get that ball, is actually better, because the way that they receive the ball is more controlled in a way, right? So that's what he was talking about. Amazing video. This is the in-depth attacking and defending video. Amazing video. I would love to watch another one, but full defense explaining, for example, when to press tackle button, when to press long tackle, when to press contain. Dude, when to press these buttons is very situational. Most of the times you don't actually press B because of defensive AI being overpowered, right? So you just hold your position and try to get in front of the opposition by holding L trigger at the perfect times to get in front of people. But the moments I press B, I never press B inside the box. So if you ever see me concede a penalty, it's because my player is lunging himself. I never press B in the box unless I know for a straight fact that I am going to get the ball, right? The only times I press B in the box is when I know for a fact that the aggressiveness of my player pushing the attacker to get the ball back is going to happen. Other than that, I don't really do it that often. Is it just me, or is anyone annoyed that his earbuds are all twisted? Oh, I'm not even wearing my earbuds. He's talking about the sweater. He's talking about this. He thinks these are the earbuds. That's really funny. Yeah, no, I'm not even using earbuds in that. It's just this thing. That's why it was like looking this way. That's why he was saying that. Greetings from Brazil that subscribed like a month ago and cannot miss one single video of yours. Great analysis and excellent understanding of players' attributes plus tactics. I would love to see a 4-2. Oh, this comment I already read before. Yeah, the 4-2 formation is a formation that I would love to try out, but I don't do it because it just doesn't help trying out different things in this game, man. Like, you guys need to understand, when I stream or when I create content, the best content to create is the ones where I'm winning the games. Because when I'm showing the highlights, right, it's games that I'm mostly winning. Not all of them are winning, but it's just goals being scored and all that kind of stuff, right? So it's hard for me to try out different formations, because for me, it doesn't really work out to try out different things because everyone's really, really meta-oriented. You contradict yourself so much from video to video. It's unbelievable. Please, guys, don't take this guy's dumb advice. He changes it every 5 minutes. No, I'm pretty consistent with the stuff that I say, man, in terms of midfielders, attackers, and stuff. There's players that I think are not worth buying, because he's talking about the stats and characteristics that you should look at, right? Like when I say that, oh, Lukaku's a good striker, but his dribbling sucks. Like, I'm very consistent with the stuff that I say, man. I don't really change the stuff that I say too much, but I'm sorry that you feel that way, man. This game seriously feels different every time, so inconsistent. That is 100% a thing. Dude, you are amazing. Keep the good work. Hope you good luck. Thank you, dude. I appreciate it. Thanks for the support on the channel. Change the commentary and the menu screens. Same shit every year. I won't be buying FIFA 19. I bought every EA football game since 1993. You're going to buy FIFA 19. Everyone buys FIFA 19. Everyone buys the next installment of FIFA, even when they say they don't. You're going to do it. In regards to the commentary and the FIFA screens, yeah, dude, the whole recycling factor that I tell people all the time, where they don't recycle the game. I mean, they don't change things in the game that have just been recycled every year, like the commentary and the menu. The menus have been the same for God knows how long. Like, the format of the menus have always been the same. Like, change it, make it look different, you know? Like, people who are graphic designers make better menus than EA do, right? So yeah, I definitely think it needs to be changed just to give that different vibe to it, you know? I don't like when I buy a game and, well, you see, what we actually ended up doing here is, instead of having a black background in FIFA 17, what we actually, or was it 17 had like a black background, I think. Instead, we actually changed it to a white background. Hey, if you want to change it to a white background, no problem, but change the freaking menus. It's the same exact online, blah, blah, blah. Like, people have such cool concepts in your community, and you guys do the exact same format. Like, that's laziness. And you guys are making so much money from us. You can at least change the goddamn menus, you know? Even Call of Duty has different menus. Call of Duty, it's similar, but it's different. You know what I'm saying? FIFA, exact same format. We changed the color. We added squad battles. We added foot champs. Bam! You know, like, a change would definitely be nice. Good post, mate. Thank you, dude. Appreciate that. You look into everything so deeply. Oh, I already read that one. What about Bale? Bale is a super situational player in FIFA. So with Bale, right? With Bale is a very interesting player, because Bale is a nice player to use. He's fantastic in the game. His finishing is very nice. My only problem with Bale, which is a big problem with Bale, is that his dribbling is incredibly sluggish. So his intricate touches aren't that great. His intricate touches are great when the gameplay is good, but we're talking about the general gameplay, right? He's a very inconsistent player when it comes to the dribbling in general, right? So he's just a type of guy that, it's like, he's very hit and miss, right? Like, I like him in draft. In an actual team, I don't know if I would use him. Maybe I would use him as a left mid, because I feel like defensively he would come back and be a very good defensive presence, especially since his left foot's very nice. But I don't know. He's a very situational player. I don't know if I would really enjoy him that much, right? Very, very situational. You misuse the word contradict in every possible context. All credibility vanished. No, the definition of contradict is something that is in conflict with something else. Tactics, instructions, and work rates are in conflict with each other, so I'm definitely not misusing the word at all. Just some people trying to be smart asses, you know what I'm saying, guys? Thank you for this vid. 433 bracket 2 is my favorite formation. With this video, it gave me an idea on how to make it better. As you mentioned, sometimes your defense will expose to a long short. Any chance for you to upload longer gameplay videos from your draft? I like to see the way you play 433 formation. So in regards to that, in terms of full gameplays, there's certain algorithms that follow with YouTube in terms of the type of content that people like to watch. And the full gameplay type of content people are not really interested in. Draft, being a video by itself, is not something people are interested in. People are interested in a topic that you are discussing about, the podcast type of video. I've noticed the algorithm, again, recently with YouTube, and people have been really enjoying, again, the podcast type of videos. So when I do a draft by itself and I'm just cutting it up and I'm doing commentary over it, it actually attracts a lower amount of viewers than me doing a podcast like this where it's an hour long and I talk about different concepts in the game, answering people's questions, because people look forward to, I guess, having an understanding of how I think towards the game. Like, I'm not an amazing player, but I feel like I can help some people, so that's why I like making my... Hey, Inception, I've been watching your videos for a while now, and they helped a lot. I just want to ask you, please, how can you how can one beat players who overuse the contain command? They just drive me nuts. I really struggle against them offensively. I've searched everywhere on the internet, and I found nobody covering this. I really find it weird because most of the opponents in FUT Champs... I mean, dude, the thing about the defensive containing thing, like, I've already done, like, attacking and defending videos. If people are using contain a lot, man, it's easier to actually go around them. Like, the only time it's not easy is when they're just controlling the CDM, parking the bus, and just second man pressing against you. But it's just patience, man. It's just patient build-up. Like, if you're not patient to try to exploit the middle and go for those long shots, and then when you're in the middle, sometimes push out to the sides because their fullbacks overcommit to the middle. It's very, very situational. I would say for you to just be more patient when you're coming against people who are trying to put all this pressure against you with second man press and stuff, right? I just played 4 games with 5 bars and FUT Champs on PS4, and all of that got button delay. FIFA 18 is shit game for competition as a server. Yeah, I'm not going to get too much into it because I've already talked about how inconsistent gameplay is. But I get what you're saying, dude. Amazing work, dude. Not only will this get you views, actually pretty good info on how to understand formations work. He's referring to the 4-3-3 instructions and tactics video that I did. That video is... when I make videos for a formation like the 4-3-3, it's not necessarily too much for FUT Champs. It's just giving the people an idea of how the formation plays in games. In terms of like the spacing between the players, how the players move around the pitch. Like, I even had a guy that said that fullbacks don't overcommit when you're using wingers, which... again, these are the type of people that just talk out of their ass. You know what I'm saying? There's some people that just say stuff for the sake of saying things. If you truly understand the game mechanics in this game, you wouldn't say some of these things. But it's how people are, right? But that's what I would say to that, man. Which formation would you recommend? This guy responds with a 4-5-3. Okay, no need to respond that way, man. He's just asking a normal question. Friendly community answer, bro. Cheeky boy, thank you for responding like a normal person. 4-2-3-1 bracket 2 or the 4-1-2-2 bracket 2. Yeah, those are the formations that I usually use. 4-1-2-2 bracket 2, very situational. If I feel like I want to attack more than I want to defend because, you know, the guy's trying to play a specific way against me, then I'll use the 4-1-2-2. But for the most part, I use the 4-2-3-1 bracket 2. I wouldn't necessarily recommend using it that much. The only reason why I use it is because it helps me win more games because it's more balanced, but it is incredibly boring to use. So if you want to have more fun, I wouldn't use it, but you are risking the losses more depending on your game style, right? This guy says, hey, what's up, Hugh? How's it going? Thank you for another entertaining video. I really enjoy watching longer videos. I appreciate you consider all your viewers and offer a variety of videos. Keep up the great and continue producing good content. Excuse me, even when the game is bad. So this is a very interesting comment, and I do appreciate it, man. It's very nice of you. I'll be completely honest with you guys, man. The way that I am as a type of person, when it comes down to FIFA, there's certain things that I genuinely just don't think is an opinion. And it bothers me that people think that it's an opinion, but it genuinely isn't. For a video game concept, for instance, I think the 1v1 finishing is stupid. No one can ever convince me otherwise that the 1v1s are okay with the amount of stupid stuff that happens in this game. That's just how I am as a type of person. I don't know whether or not people appreciate that I'm like that or don't appreciate that I'm like that, but as you guys know, I'm not the type of person to hide how I feel towards certain concepts in the game. So I just talk about whatever, right? Like, I just say exactly how I feel. I don't sugarcoat anything. If I think that you're wrong in the 1v1s, I will tell you that you're wrong. I don't think that it's an opinion to say that goalkeepers should be saving it, because if you actually understand how the shooting mechanics work, it is incredibly stupid how 1v1s are. And pro players will say the exact same. How do you play attackers in the midfield and play so well? Which one is this one? Oh, this is for draft. Draft is situational, man. If you play attackers in the midfield, you're actually putting yourself at a disadvantage. Midfielders are always about having a player that can attack and defend. Using players like Ozil, Iniesta, Isco, these are players that you should not use if you're really thinking about trying to win a game, because those guys have zero defensive presence, so they're not going to do as well. But that's the thing about draft, man. The thing about draft is that sometimes the way that your player selection works, if you're using attackers as midfielders, it's fun because in draft it's like it's not as serious, right? Like I hate the gameplay on Xbox, but in terms of the concept of changing the formation and the players that I'm using, it's really fun to just use attackers in midfield because the winning concept isn't as crazy because I have like 3.8 million coins, so I can just play endless drafts until the end of the year. Liked it, man. You are amazing, dude. Keep up the good work. Thank you, dude. I appreciate that. Enjoy the videos. I appreciate that. Let's see what else we got going on here. Because there's some comments that I've missed out from like older videos. So yeah. What's better for Baby Blanc, Anchor or Shadow? I think that the physical stats that a Baby Blanc already has, I think he's more than capable of just using a Shadow on him because he's huge with decent physical stats. If you want to give him better physical stats, completely down to you. You can give him an Anchor. Everybody's different. That's not a fact. I think that using Shadow is better on Laurent Blanc. I think using Shadow on Alaba is better instead of using an Anchor card. Everyone is different. That's an opinion that I completely understand. People say that they want more of that physical, more of that jumping, all that kind of stuff. So, but for me personally, I would put Shadow on the card because it just makes more sense for me if I'm using him. Hi, is the Prime Ronaldinho better than the Prime Henry? So, it's not. This isn't the best way to tell if a player is good or bad because I'm playing them in draft. But I'm gonna tell you this right now, man. The times that I did get Thierry Henry in the draft, I didn't like him, and it's because the way that he dribbles on the ball. He just takes too long to do things in terms of the price that you might be paying for him, right? So let's just say, for instance, Martial. Of course, Thierry Henry is going to be better than Martial in the game, of course. But in terms of the price difference that you're paying between the two, Thierry Henry, like the dribbling that he does bothers me. Now, again, this is from draft. I'm not using him as a right mid or a left mid or a striker in a specific formation or in a 4-2-3-1 as a cam or a striker by himself. Like there's very specifics that I'm not trying out. But what I can tell you is that the general feel that Henry felt like in draft, even with the gameplay being poor, because even when the gameplay sucks, Ronaldinho feels like a god, okay? And so does Ronaldo. When it came down to Thierry Henry, he didn't feel that good, right? So that's just my opinion on that. Dude, I love this setup. The long video is cool. I enjoy listening to it like a podcast. I really like the Q&A setup. It's interactive and we get the info we're looking for. Yeah, like I said, I say this a lot in the videos, but a lot of people are really into the podcast thing nowadays on YouTube. So I'm definitely revolving my content kind of like around that right now until the point where people are no longer interested in it. And then I have to find something else that people are interested in, because there's so much gameplay that happens in the background and I could just talk about different stuff in the game and in real life football. So it's pretty cool. Can you do a squad builder video like from 500k to 1 million? Yeah, squad builders is very situational, man. I'm not really sure how much I'm going to do squad builders because very situational, right? Subtitles for Indonesia, please, bro. I don't really know how that works. I don't think I can do that myself. I think that has to be something that's completely down to YouTube. So that's not really something that I can do myself, man. I do apologize for that. Why are you playing Jesus right mid and Martial striker? This guy responded with him saying Martial is faster and bigger to hold up the ball. Jesus has better work rates to play defensive. Matt, you the real MVP. Team of the year, Bonucci at CDM. Let me see his stats, actually. I think Bonucci, I don't know. I don't think he has, like, all-round good stats, so he wouldn't be that great as a CDM. But he does, I don't know if he has medium work rates. Oh, he has low-high work rates. That is interesting, actually. Okay, so Bonucci can't attack for his life because his dribbling is quite awful. So if you use this card, it's purely based off of the concept of, hey, I'm going to defend with him. His card actually looks quite decent. I mean, like, dude, it's definitely worth. This is the thing about the thing I was talking about earlier with formations and stuff. It's cool that you can start off with a 5 at the back formation, put 2 center backs from the Serie A, like Manolas and Inform Benascia, put Bonucci in there, and then in game you can switch to having Bonucci as a CDM in a 4-1-2-2 or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just kind of gives you more freedom to use players in certain positions. And I would love to try out a player who has low-high work rates in that position as well, in a CDM, because I've yet to do that. He can't shoot, but it basically just reminds you of a Bakayoko, essentially, right? And he's got decent pace, not crazy pace. His acceleration is low, but his sprint speed is high, but I'd rather have acceleration to be high. So Yeah, he's situational. He could be good. He could be bad. I'm not really sure how he would play. I think Abayi would still be played better than a Team of the Year Bonucci. It's just my opinion on how I see certain things. Let's see. EA should make drafts like 5K so you pretty much always make money from them if you win, or reward you with more coins than the entry fee for winning the draft. Draft right now is an absolute joke, man, because the rewards that you get, if you're playing draft for rewards, it's not worth doing at all. I'm going to tell you guys this right now. I cannot remember the last time I've gotten the best reward in FIFA. I think what they give you is like, I think it was 45K or 55K, a mega pack and a rare players pack. I think that's what it was. I haven't gotten that reward in God knows how long. And as you guys know, I play a lot of drafts and I win a lot of drafts, and I haven't gotten that reward in a long time. What I've actually noticed, and I don't know if this is 100% a thing or not, but from playing drafts on the Xbox, I've actually noticed that although the draft rewards were bad before, they're actually terrible now. It's actually worse, because when I win drafts nowadays, I cannot tell you guys enough how many times I actually get the rare gold packs. I get the rare gold packs nowadays way more often. I don't remember the last time I've gotten a mega pack from a draft. I don't remember the last time I got in a mega pack. A mega pack, right? I get so many rare gold. I get the one where it's like they give you 2 rare golds in a gold pack. Do you know how underwhelming it is to get that when you win a draft? Because, dude, here's the thing, right? And it's really funny because I can win 10 drafts in a row and lose so much money, and then I can play one draft and lose and get a draft token from it. It blows my mind, guys, that that's a thing, right? It makes sense. I get why they do it, but it's just really annoying that that's a thing, right? Because it happened to me the other day where I lost in the first round, right? And I got a draft token. I was like, I literally just made more money than I would, like, winning the draft. Like, it's crazy, man. It's crazy how that can work, right? How do you think during the week is the best way to prepare and perform better in FUT Champs? I don't really do any, like, pre-thinking for FUT Champs. I hate FUT Champs in general. So when I play FUT Champs, it's just, it's an on-the-day thing. Like, bro, today's Thursday and tomorrow's Friday. Do you think I'm looking forward to playing FUT Champs? No. Am I going to play FUT Champs? I genuinely don't know, because I don't look forward to playing the game mode at all. So, yeah. We'll see, man. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. It's not even the game mode. It's just the gameplay, man. If the gameplay was consistently good, maybe playing 13 a day wouldn't be that bad. I still hate the concept of it, even if the gameplay was good, but it would be all right. Florenzi is always one of the best fullbacks I use. I don't know why, as his stats don't really show it, but at times he feels he is irreplaceable. No, his stats definitely show it. If you look at his stats, he has all-around good stats, so it definitely makes sense. Every player in this game nowadays, people genuinely need to understand, there is no overpowered players nowadays. There are just good players. Like, when people say, like, Bakayoko's overpowered, he's not overpowered. If you look at his specific stats, there's a reason why he's good, right? But with Florenzi, he's just an all-around good player, so it doesn't surprise me if you like him, to be fair. Maybe it's the aggressive playstyle that you speak of. Dude is amazing. Yeah, he's more of an aggressive attacker because he can actually shoot the ball, whereas other fullbacks don't really. I only lose to people who keep possession or spam pass all the time. This FIFA is terrible. I mean, dude, I don't know what to tell you. What's up, bro? You're my #1 FIFA tutorial guy. I have stopped watching everyone in regards to tactics, etc. I followed your team other than first informed Bobby. I got his team in the group stage and don't have Blanc. Bakayoko still low, and I have improved a lot. Won my first Division 2 game. 5-3, I'm bad at defending average and attack. I have Prime Costa. Can you tell me how to use them or useless? I feel he is useless. I hope you get this, mate. I wouldn't use Prime Rui Costa in a team genuinely because his finishing is very inconsistent. Like, here's the thing. Martial's finishing is inconsistent, but you're not paying, like, a lot of money to get a Martial. You're paying a lot of money to get a Rui Costa. And I don't know. The thing about Rui Costa is that he's a physical type of player. He could be good in the midfield for you, but finishing wise, he's going to annoy you a lot for me personally. Let's see what else we got here. I understand how to counter tactics, but I just want to have fun and hate pausing to change tactics. Dude, honestly, I completely understand that way of thinking. I tell people from my streams and from my YouTube channel all the time, like, if you just want to have fun with the game, don't think too much about the concept of, like, hey, this guy's playing this certain way, I need to change. But, like, dude, sometimes when you're playing and someone's outplaying you in a certain area of the pitch, you kind of have to change your tactics and instructions, right? Like I've noticed that in draft, when I use a certain formation against someone else's certain formation and they use the wide formation better than I can use a narrow formation, they're going to destroy me. And it's not necessarily my own fault. It's because I can't switch the formation to counter what he's doing, right? So the fun concept for me is understanding what my opponent is doing and countering them rather than like having to pause and all that stuff, right? Like I get what you're saying, but for me personally, like when I'm playing, I really dislike when someone is completely destroying my team because of the formation and stuff that he's using, right? Because that's happened quite a lot to me, where I'm losing like 2-0, I'll switch to a 4-2-3-1, and then I'll win like 3-2, and then like just completely outplay the guy, because it's very like situational, right? Mate, can you make a video about the internet settings you have and how you avoid playing laggy people in seasons and weekend league? I play laggy people in weekend league and seasons all the time, man. There's no specifics. I have a Net Duma router, and the Net Duma router still does nothing for this game. That's how bad the connection is in this game. I have like I make sure that I only match up with people in North America, all that stuff, which you could do with other routers too, because in FIFA, if you're from North America, you're only matching up with people from North America anyways, for the most part. So yeah, I have a router for it because I thought it would make a difference. It didn't make a difference. Gameplay is just coded really badly in this game. So yeah. You should stream your weekend league on YouTube. I've already talked about this before. I'm a Twitch partner, so streaming on YouTube is already like a big no-go. Like I can't do that in general. Because again, I have the thing with Twitch. Although I have seen people who have partnership on Twitch stream to YouTube sometimes, which is very weird because I swear that's against the TOS. So I'm not really sure how that works, to be honest. Where can I write you a personal message? Hey man, if you want to write me messages, like my Twitch DMs are open. My email, you could send email to the stuff, even if it's not business oriented. As long as it's not like FIFA tutorial oriented, like those emails are weird. But if you have like heartfelt messages to say, like I don't mind if you send it to the email. Do you guys think Harry Kane is a good striker to use in the game? Team of the year is. Everybody else, all the other versions are absolutely trash. Is it worth the money to get a team of the year Kane? No. Is it cool to try out? Yes. That's what I would say to the Kane card. What are your thoughts on Inform Mahrez as a wide cam? Ooh, that's actually an interesting one. So my problem with Mahrez, right? Like if you're using him in a 4-2-3-1 cam-oriented formation, where it's like you have the 4-2-3, I think it's a bracket 1, or just the first variation of 4-2-3-1, where you have like the 3 cams, or 4 cams. It's 4 cams actually. Wait, 3 cams. If you use that one and you use Mahrez on the right side or the left side, there's a lot of potential that he actually could be really good. And the lack of pace, because he doesn't have like the high 88s and higher a little bit, you know. The lack of pace might not be a huge issue with him, because Mahrez feels really, really nice on the ball. He dribbles quite quickly. His pace, it's more his acceleration that's good, so that's what makes him move a little bit quicker on the ball, right? Other than that, though, that's a trying out type of player. I've seen his stats. Again, the thing that bothered me when I was using him in a 4-1-2-2 or a 4-2-3-1 as a central cam, he didn't work for me because he didn't have the pace to come back and defend that general area, and he didn't really have the pace pushing forward as well. But I think if you're using him as a left cam or a right cam in a 4-2-3-1, there's a lot of potential there. I feel like he can actually be a very good player. Only channel I make sure to leave a like on. Thank you, dude. I appreciate that a lot. Is it more important to upgrade the midfield or the attack? I always think it's the midfield, man, because the attack, you can get really cheap options to get a really good attack. With the midfield defend, it's the thing about FIFA nowadays is that you defend with your midfield more than you defend with your back four. So if you have a solid midfield that has the height, the physical, the defensive stats, and the attacking stats, I feel like you'll win more of your games for sure. Hey, I like your videos. Thanks a lot. You said you sometimes play the 4-2-3-1 wide. What are your custom tactics and player instructions when you play with the 4-2-3-1 wide? I actually have a video for the 4-2-3-1 wide on my YouTube channel. Those tactics may not be recent, but I can tell the instructions that I use right now. The instructions that I use right now for the 4-2-3-1 bracket 2 is stay back while attacking for the fullback, stay back while attacking for the CDMs, come back in defense for the left mid and right mid, and the cam, I tell him to stay on the edge of the box for the cross, and the striker is free roam. Not free roam, but it's just balanced until I notice that I want him to do specific things for me. on the pitch. You deserve more subscribers and clicks. I'm German. Thank you, dude. I appreciate that. Hey, man, I think growth for the YouTube channel is just like a consistent thing. As long as I post up consistent content, then I feel like the channel will just continuously grow from there, I would say. What else we got here? People need to stop stream because that's part of the problem. That's really not part of the problem at all. You can stream the game. Actually, streaming is quite dead right now. My YouTube channel is actually doing way better than the Twitch channel right now, because streaming the game is really, really dead right now. Because people, I understand where people come from, right? Because on the weekdays, you're watching someone play Division 1, which is incredibly boring because there's nothing to look forward to as a viewer at the end of it. Like in Fortnite, if someone gets a win in a battle royale against 100 people, it's fun, right? Like, oh shit, you got the win, right? In FIFA, it's like, if you win a game, it's like, cool, I got 500 coins. That is whatever. If I win Division 1, I get 15K. So I had to play against hard opponents to get 15K when I can play squad battles, get more money, and play against bots, right? So streaming is definitely not the problem with the growth of the game. It's just EA whether or not they want to change the game or not. Get rid of Tolisso and put James Rodriguez or Vidal. James Rodriguez would never make it as a midfielder in my team because of the lack of stamina and lack of defensive stats, so that's a big no-go for him. And Vidal, I didn't like Vidal because the way that he dribbled on the ball took way too long, and he just felt like a very sluggish type of player. But again, my opinion can change later on in the game. I just don't currently like him in the setup in my squad. Where is Bale and Griezmann? Please make another video for the rest of the players you missed. Oh, so this is actually an interesting comment to make. This is for the videos of the defensive midfield, best defense, best midfield, best attackers type of video, right? The point of the video, right, wasn't about listing all the players, because I had so many people like, oh my god, I can't believe you didn't list this guy, I didn't account. But that's YouTube comments in general, like it happens, right? The thing about listing all these types of players and naming what's good and bad about them, it's not about that. The video, I was explaining each intricate little detail of each player so that you can have a general idea of what you should look for when you're getting your defenders, your midfielders, and your attackers, right? It's just the general idea. As I'm explaining it, you start to understand, like, okay, now I get what type of players is good. A player like Griezmann, he wouldn't like a player like Griezmann because physical presence is very weak. He doesn't have the pace to make up for the dribbling, and he has a shitty weak foot. Bale, very sluggish on the ball. He's good with the physical presence and pace, but he takes too long on the ball. Like, stuff like that, it's very, like, noticeable once I get to that point of, like, explaining all the players, right? It's the right center mid that switches with the cam, not the left center mid, so you should switch from, you know, and Tolisso in the 4-1-2 and 2 bracket 2. No, that's not the case at all. I was using the 4-2-3-1 for he's talking about the 35 and 5 in Foot Champs video. I don't switch to the 4-1-2 and 2, man. I just use the 4-2-3-1. I'm aware that the right center mid and the cam switch with each other, but that wasn't the problem as to why they were moving around the pitch. Is really just because of the tactics that I was using with the 4-2-3-1. Keep it up. You earn my respect and subscribe. I hope you do better in foot and provide us with more analysis and some players and game tactics. Thank you, dude. I do appreciate that, man. This comment I mentioned before, but it was mentioned again in a different video. So this is the one where people were saying, like, it's disrespectful that I eat in a YouTube video. If you guys see the stuff at the bottom, like the overlay and stuff, that's because I'm streaming. If I'm streaming and I'm streaming for like 8 hours in a day, I'm not gonna go more than 4 or 5 hours without eating something. If I'm gonna eat dinner, it's good that I eat dinner so that I don't waste my energy to not be able to stream longer just because I don't have food in my system. So I don't think it's disrespectful to eat on stream. In a YouTube video, maybe. I can definitely see where you're coming from in that, 100%. But if you see the overlay at the bottom, it's recordings from my stream, right? Like, if I'm doing an actual YouTube video, the format of it would be like this, right? So I would have the gameplay like this, and then I would have the face cam like this. It's going to be very small for you guys to see because of the way that the video is going to be put out. But yeah, that's kind of like how I do my videos. If you see the overlay at the bottom, it's because I'm streaming, so I'm going to eat on stream, right? Top 100 getting BS. Firmino is a great pull. Yeah, my pack openings for Foot Champs are very good. I just don't have a reason to play Foot Champs because the content that they provide for it isn't very good, right? Because if I get 700k profit from FUT Champs, which I did get, right? Like, what am I gonna do with that money? Because season sucks, right? FUT draft sucks. If I upgrade my team, oh cool. The only way I'm gonna upgrade my team is getting these really, really good players, right? So it's a weird situation for sure, man. I have used Pogba in drafts sometimes. Pogba is slow and his agility is really bad in game. He doesn't really feel that great on the ball. He doesn't have any defensive stats. He's just a player that I don't really enjoy using that much. But like, you know, if I were to get a red version of his card in a 4-1-2 and 2 bracket 2, using him as a right center mid as for fun, yeah, I would definitely use him there. He's a fun player to use, but like, it just really bothers me that like when I was using him, right, if he doesn't have defensive stat boosts, he just doesn't intercept the ball. He doesn't do anything defensively unless it's about the physical concept, right? Although if you get the inform version, which is the highest version of his card, and you give him a shadow on it, maybe it would play a little bit better, right? But yeah, I don't know. He's an odd one. Pogba is definitely an odd player in this game. He's an opinion type of player. Like, some people like him, some people don't. Very, very situational. Hey man, you control the ball is amazing. It is really enjoy to watch you control the ball. I love it. It looks slow and not much skills. I don't really use much skills because it depends on how the gameplay feels. Like, if it feels slow and sluggish, like, it actually doesn't register your skill moves. Like, sometimes I'll do like an angled body feint and he'll actually push the ball downwards because it doesn't register me using the left stick and stuff, right? Sometimes I'll do a ball roll and he'll just flick the ball upwards because there's a, you know, that's new skill move where you can do like a, I don't know if it's like a Kacha flick. It's the one where you just, if you stand still and you hold the thumbstick forward, it lifts the ball over. Like, it'll do that sometimes when I'm trying to do a ball roll because it doesn't register like that I want to do a ball roll, right? So it's very, very situational. Keep the videos long if possible. There's like a billion YouTubers doing like 10-minute videos, and many of us use it as a podcast. Yeah, no, I understand that. I definitely get that. You actually got that much profit from getting Matt Hummels in top 100. Yeah, so this is in regards to the one where I got Matt Hummels in the FUT Champs reward. When I got Matt Hummels in the FUT Champs reward, it's interesting, man, because when you get Elite 1, like when I got Elite 1 and I got those rewards, it was really interesting to me because I've seen a lot of players who get top 100 consistently that haven't made more than 500k plus profit from playing FUT Champs, which is interesting to me because I barely play FUT Champs because the concept of it is just a little bit like stressful. But it's really interesting to me that I've gotten one weekend where I've actually gotten more than 500k. I've gotten 700k plus profit from winning, because I think in top 100 they actually give you more coin reward as well, right? Because I think when you get Elite 1 in FIFA, they give you like 100 and something K, but in top 100, I'm pretty sure they actually give you more coins. So that's actually interesting that most people who get top 100, who get it consistently, haven't made more than 500k profit. But I don't know if they're actually counting the coin reward when they're saying that, right? Because I feel like they would have at least gotten 200, 300k, because I think 11 informs, if you discard all those, or maybe not, because if you get the shitty ones, they are discard values, so maybe they're actually right. Very situational. I'm sure that it gets some players, though, because even if you get like a Milinkovic card, like, he'll cost a little bit. You can literally get like Sterling, and Sterling will cost a little bit, right? So I don't know. I don't know if these guys actually pack these players, so it's very situational, I guess. Broski, I wanted to ask if Prime Icon Larson would be worth doing it on the SBC. Want to know your opinion on how his base stats look and if he'll be a good player with your playstyle. Larson, did I check the Larson card at all? Let me check, actually. I'm going to check out his stats right now. I think the reason why I didn't want to try out Larson was because he looked very similar to Shevchenko, which is a big reason why I didn't want to even try out his card. So the Larson card has 92 acceleration with 88 sprint speed. That's very good, actually. Oh, this card is very good, actually. He doesn't have the skill moves, but he has the high. You know what? This card has potential to be a very good right mid or left mid, because he has 78 short passing with 73 long passing, which is not terrible at all. If you give him an engine card, his finishing and his composure is already quite nice with the 4-star weak foot. He doesn't have the skill moves, though. Yeah, this card, you know what? This card would actually be worth trying out as a left mid or right mid, or even as a striker, depending on how you play. Like, if I wouldn't necessarily use him as a lone striker, but if you have support in a 4-1-2 and 2, he actually gonna be really good. But yeah, this card actually looks like it might be decent, because he has high work rates. As a left mid and a right mid, he has 89 agility with 82 balance while also being 5'10". So if you give him an engine card, it'll only increase those specific aspects by a little bit. I don't think it's as much as these videos make it out to be. 86 stamina is very good too. So yeah, this is definitely a card that's worth trying out for sure. He could end up being a very, very good card. So yeah, he's not a guaranteed good player. He's a trying out card. That's what I would say to that. Well done, bro. Thank you, dude. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah, so this is the situation I was talking about earlier with the anchor and the shadow on your fullbacks. I recommend trying anchor on wingbacks to increase their jumping. It really helps when defending crosses and corners. Yeah, it's... Like I said, I use Shadow because I prefer to have my players be defensively better because of how overpowered defensive AI is, rather than having them be more physical, because physical is down to like having the pace and being able to outbody someone with their aggressiveness as well. So it's very, very situational in my opinion. Let's see what else we got going on over here. I think you need to play more games with some of these players to understand their strengths and weaknesses in more depth. If you only use Moy for one game, you wouldn't see that he thinks he's capable of. No, dude. See, this is the thing that people tell me. This is not an opinion thing. I'm telling you this right now. If you play FIFA enough, it only takes... It doesn't even take a full game, dude. It takes literally half a game to realize if you like a player or not. There's no... If I realize there's concepts of a player that I don't like, I take him out of my team instantly, man. Because if you have more concepts that I don't like more than things that I do like, I'm not going to like using the card that often, right? So that's why I didn't like using the second Inform Moy card. Yo, this is the best more video like this, bro. Yo, man, I'm glad you liked the video. Where am I from? I'm Portuguese, dude. A lot of people think I'm Middle Eastern. I guess because of the eyebrows and stuff. I don't know, but I'm Portuguese, dude. Gameplay, chemistry should change accordingly if you switch formation in game. That would avoid the pause. No, like I said, I don't agree with that because it'll give you less freedom with the players that you want to use. Because if they do this concept of you can only use this one formation in game, you can't counter your opponents, right? Like if I know that a 4-2-3-1 is not working against someone who's pummeling me in the midfield, I need to be able to switch from that formation. You shouldn't be just set with one formation. It's a very like controversial topic to talk about, but that's just how I feel when it comes to this game, right? Great video. EA deserve that you go in on them with the amount of money they are making. There shouldn't be delay. I feel like FIFA 15 was smoother. It might be the Frostbite engine. No, Frostbite engine has nothing to do with it. The reason why the gameplay is crap is because they never fix the inconsistency with the game. That's the only reason why. The engine has nothing to do with it. It's just because their not even their engine. Their gameplay is just, there's something broken in it. I've noticed it more ever since they've switched to the new gen consoles than I used to notice it back in FIFA 12 and FIFA 13. But it could have definitely been a thing in FIFA 12 and 13, but I just didn't play those games as much as I played FIFA nowadays, right? Although I did like those games a lot. It's because of school and all that stuff, so I didn't really have the time to play. Plus, during the FIFA 12, 13 days, that's when like Call of Duty was popping, so... yeah, I would play... FIFA was a game that I would buy every year during the 12 and 13 days, but I would buy it on the side of Call of Duty, you know what I'm saying? That's when, like, Call of Duty was, like, the thing. I get what you're saying about Mertens, but I think he would fit more in a cam role than in a striker position. What do you guys think? So the reason why I wouldn't use Mertens as a cam is because I think he has high-low work rates, and he doesn't really have that many stats that make up for the high-low work rates. Although, he does have very nice passing for a player that is 86 rated. He has an upgrade nowadays. He has 81 short passing with 74 long passing. I just think with the high-low and the 5'7" height, he's more often out of position than he is in position. So that's why, for me personally, I wouldn't enjoy using him that much, but... I don't know, man. The height, when I used him, the height is the thing that bothered me the most. But he's a nice player to use in the game. When he's on the ball, he's a ton of fun to use because he's super fast. It's just the height in the middle aspect is like kind of meh for me. But if I was using him for fun, because he has inform versions of his cards, right? Which is this. Oh, I can't even show it right now. This version of his card, which is very nice. That's interesting. I should actually do that more often. The screen will be a little bit small, so I don't even know if you guys will be able to see that. But in regards to all of that, his card looks like it's more of a fun card type of card to use. But the upgrade, it does look really good, and it has a lot of potential to be very good because he's a 4-star player, so you can't really go wrong with that for sure. Inception needs to work at EA Sports, dude. The ideas that I have towards this game is the same ideas that a lot of other people have towards this game. Like, I'm not any different. The one thing that I would help them fix is their gameplay. Like, I would love to go to their studios, sit for 12 hours a day, play games all day, and just tell them, this feels good, this feels bad, this feels good, this feels bad. Because me talking about the gameplay doesn't revolve around the results that I get. It revolves around the general feel of the game. If it feels like crap, I would tell them, hey, this feels like crap. Even if I'm winning 5-0, I do it all the time on my stream. This feels like crap. There's games that I lose where I'm like, this game was good. I had fun. I can just move on from it. That's what I want to help EA fix. Other than that, man, all the other things, man, they can do it themselves. The content that they want to add to the game, that's completely down to them whether they want to add it. But all the other things that I talk about, it's just irrelevant at this point because they would do whatever they want to do anyways, right? So it's completely down to them. I don't know why I'm singing like Inspector Gadget as I'm like looking for more questions. I don't know why. I slightly disagree with regarding squad battles. Perhaps the rewards are a little inflated, but for some players, that is the only way to build half a decent team. I'm not good enough yet to really compete and acquire good rewards in foot champs, and I don't have the money for points / coins. Without squad battles, there's very little opportunity for less meta players to gain access to any kind of fun and competitive gameplay. That said, it's also a slug. I don't want to play against AI either, but without this process, my underdeveloped squad has no chance to progress and ultimately compete against the plethora of super squads everyone seems to have right now. I think you misinterpreted what I said about squad battles. So what I said about squad battles was this, right? I hate that they added it, because it makes people more prone to not playing the game online. So in drafts and seasons, people don't really play those game modes as much because the rewarding system in squad battles is better than the rewarding system in seasons and drafts. I think that the way that they reward you in single player, if you want to keep it the same way, keep it the same way. It's not necessarily an issue for me. It's that an online game mode shouldn't get less rewards than an offline game mode. That doesn't make sense. It's never made sense in any video game. No one has ever done that, right? The concept of having squad battles is good because, like you said, for a guy that doesn't really care about or not really care, it's like the competing concept, which is fine. It's not even the competing concept. It's like, how am I going to explain this? Because people twist the words a lot when I use them, right? Squad battles is good introduction for a sports game because games like Madden have it. They have like the challenges like, oh, I think my friend told me that in Madden they have challenges where it's like, oh, like acquire like 20 yards in this game or something like that. It's a challenge while you're doing it offline. But in FIFA, the reason why I hate it is because you shouldn't get better rewards offline than you do online. Although I'm not saying that the rewards should be worse the way that it currently is offline. I just think that they should be better online. And I think that it just took away more players from the online game modes, which is why this game is incredibly dead right now, because people play squad battles more than they do the online because it's better to play squad battles than the online, which is the concept that I don't really like. Agree with you 100%, but instead of OG changing the squad battles, they need to improve it. They can improve squad battles. I think a big improvement that EA needs to really look into is the AI difficulty, because the AI difficulty is really broken. If you play on Ultimate, all you do in the first half is waste time, and in the second half, you just do fake shots galore and score off of that. That's how you win in squad battles. But it would be nice if you just played regular FIFA against these guys and not exploit certain aspects. Like, if you exploit certain aspects, like you do driven passes, driven shots, all those stuff, that's normal things, right? But if you do stuff where if you do a fake shot, the defender stands in place, it makes it more underwhelming to play the mode because you're not actually playing against the AI that well. It's more like you're just using game mechanics to exploit them a little bit more. I don't like playing squad battles because of that concept. I don't like that I'm not playing the AI properly. It's because even if I do play the AI properly, I notice that when I do a fake shot, they stop anyways, right? So, I don't know. It's very, very situational for me personally. But that's as far as I would go from there. Any other questions here? Many people have broken their controllers because of the inconsistent gameplay rather than a loss. Sometimes the gameplay is very sluggish with a significant delay that making people very frustrated. Sucks EA. Yeah, 100%, dude. We talk about this all the time, but don't really want to get into it because we've already gotten into this stuff. If you guys have any different types of questions, because usually the questions I get in my YouTube channels are very the generic type of questions. So if you guys have anything that's like a little bit different, like if I like using like Luigi Nani or something, I feel like that would be more interesting to the viewer to talk about rather than us just hating on the game all the time, right? So they really need to add trade offers again. It was so funny to wager pink slip with friends, and randoms was the best entertainment for me back then. Someone else agrees too. Trade offers would be cool if they added to the game. Will they add it into the game? Probably not, because it'll probably take away from their profits on the game. Because for me personally, if people wanted to give me squads, if they wanted to give me players, I would happily accept the players 100%. I would happily accept the players 100%. Because the whole point of Ultimate Team is to try out players. The building my Ultimate Team concept has evaded me for like 2 years already, because I'd rather just have the players and play with the players, have fun with the guys, rather than like building up the team. Because the building up the team concept is not that fun anymore. I'd rather just have the players, because when you play FUT Champs and you're coming up against these God squads, it's really annoying. I'd rather just have a God squad as well, so I can actually compete better with these people, right? But yeah, guys, that is going to do it for this version of the podcast. I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. If you guys did, please drop a thumbs up on it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.